This was not a tweet that I was expecting to see at 6 a.m. in the morning on a Saturday, but here we are. As I was up prepping myself for the Wuthering Waves first anniversary live stream, which was okay, but the rewards were kind of whack, I came across a tweet that I ended up becoming extremely curious about. Apparently, somebody said that they were dropping Gachiakata because the mangaka is a woman? So after seeing that, I decided to do a little bit of digging myself, and nothing initially popped up. Then funny enough, not even a few minutes later, a ton of people started retweeting this person's response, and the moment I read it, I was like, oh it's time. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. This might be one of the most ridiculous and uninformed statements I've ever read. This person goes on to say, you see, sometimes writing is bounded or limited by the gender of the author, which means the male characters you see are not written by a man with experience, but how a woman thinks they should be, which they fail to adapt how a male character acts or captures the essence of such character. This can apply to female characters written by a man. They are not even remotely close to how women write them because they can't capture that essence and assume that's how they act rather than what they actually do. For one, you're wrong. You're just flat out wrong, but don't worry, I'm an expert at teaching kids like this cat. So let me get in my bag and school you on why women are actually fairly capable of writing male characters extremely well. Have you ever read a manga and thought, damn, whoever wrote this character is a genius? Well, there's a good chance that that character was written by a female mangaka. Whether it's their emotional inner complexity or just the perfectly awkward charm, they often feel realer than some male characters written by dudes. And to be honest, let's start with the basic truth. Great characters are built on empathy, not gender. When a female mangaka writes a male character, she's approaching it from an outsider's perspective. But honestly, if we're being real here, that can really be an advantage. It forces her to go deeper by exploring motivations, vulnerabilities, and emotional expressions that might be overlooked by someone writing from a dude's perspective. Take Hiromu Arakawa, for example, the creator of Full Metal Alchemist, which I'm sure a lot of y'all know really well. Edward Elric is arguably one of the most layered male protagonists in all of manga in the shonen demographic. He's hot-headed, cocky, and deeply traumatized, yet he was never one-dimensional. Arakawa has stated in interviews that she based the emotional bond between Ed and Al on the close siblings she knew growing up, especially brothers who were both reckless and affectionate. She focuses on what drives people, not what a guy would do, and it shows in spades. Something else that I believe female mangaka do very well is showcasing the vulnerability within male characters. We've already discussed at length about how Arakawa wrote Ed and Al, and to that very same notion, Ed had a ton of moments where he wasn't afraid to be vulnerable when it came to his brother, or Winry, or anybody like that, you know? Another example, and these are side characters, right? Just gotta make sure I reiterate this. Another example of that would be Nobu and Takumi from Nana. Even though that series focuses on two women, Nobu and Takumi are written with rich emotional complexity dealing with love, pride, insecurity, and jealousy, which are things that often get glossed over when male characters are solely written to be quote-unquote cool. Because we deal with these emotions on a daily basis, and for them to be shown in such a manner, I think is really, really important when writing. And to be real, the influence of female mangaka isn't just in the character writing alone. It's also how they challenge the expectations. Look at Yoshihiro Togashi's Hunter x Hunter, right? His wife, Naoki Takeuchi, the creator of Sailor Moon, has been credited in interviews with inspiring some of Togashi's most emotionally resonant male characters, one of them, for example, being Killua. Even in manga that are tied to the shonen demographic, there's a growing trend of showing boys cry, be afraid, and most of all, be uncertain, because whether you would like to admit it or not, that's how we are when we're kids. And that's largely credited to female mangaka who've helped pave the way. Oh yeah, let's not forget about Paru Itagaki, the mangaka of Beastars. Legoshi is a male wolf struggling with his own violent instincts, desire, anxiety, and fear of hurting others. Itagaki's portrayal is delicate and nuanced, flipping the script on what a quote-unquote wolf character usually is. These characters are compelling, not just because they're real, but because they challenge the ideas of masculinity without being preachy, which is much appreciated from yours truly. Now, let's move on to another thing that I deem to be quite relevant, and that is the romance factor. In romance manga, it's even more apparent how well women write male characters. Shota Kazehaya from Kimi ni Todoke, or hell, we could go even further. Take Kyo from Fruits Basket. They're not wish fulfillment fantasy dudes. They're insecure, emotional, and often unsure of themselves. And for all my dudes out there, all the homies, bro, y'all cannot tell me that these have never applied to you. You can't say that you ain't never been insecure. You can't say that you ain't never been emotional. And you can't say that you ain't never been unsure of yourself. All of these are part of the male diagram, bro. This is just like built into us. It's natural. It's the human condition. It's what we are. But back to the subject. They're written with care, with flaws, and they grow, as men do. We grow from those mistakes. That's something that Natsuki Takaya, the mangaka behind Fruits Basket, intentionally focused on, showing how men process grief, love, and family trauma. According to her, she wanted the boys to at least feel real. That meant letting them cry, lash out, and most of all, make mistakes. How many times have your parents told you, like, you know, it's cool to fall on your ass, but as long as you learn from it, it's all good? Now, I remember my mother telling me as a kid that it's okay to cry. Boys cry, it happens. That's how people heal. This sort of emotional honesty is often what makes these male characters so endearing to fans because they feel like real people. So here's the truth. Women don't write good male characters because they're women. No, they write good characters because they care about emotional authenticity. Whether it's my goat, Kei Urana, writing Rudo as an angry yet emotionally unstable kid in Gachi Yakuta, or Rumiko Takahashi writing Inuyasha as a proud yet deeply lonely half-demon, or hell, if you want me to go ancient, Clamp for crafting the mysterious and conflicted Kamui in X 1999. It's clear that their success lies in craft, not just perspective. By stepping outside of their own experiences, female mangaka often interrogate masculinity, question trope, and focus on the inner workings of boys and men. Not just how they fight, but why they fight. And guess what? That's what readers connect with. So next time you want to say that a woman can't write male characters well, hand them the entire series of Full Metal Alchemist or Inuyasha and ask them to try again. Because when it comes to telling human stories, female mangaka have been killing it for fucking decades, bruh. I did my best to not come across as an asshole, but use this to be more of a teachable moment than anything. I'm not someone who would just outright attack somebody because I think that shit is tasteless. So instead, I took the more professional route and offered guidance and information as opposed to hate. Anyway, that's all I got for this video. If there was anything that I left out that you felt I should have put in there, or you know, your own like ideas about this and thoughts about this, make sure y'all let me know in the comment section below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. This is a different type of video than I thought I would be uploading. Usually I don't talk about things like this, but I mean, I guess it's cool to start opening the floodgates and talking about more things than just Gachi, because as y'all can tell, we are over 10,000 subscribers, so we kind of have to bridge the gap with other things to bring in more people and hopefully entertain more people and inform more people. Honestly, this was actually cool. I felt a lot writing this. I was actually saying something truly meaningful as opposed to just like the everyday information that I, provide. This video makes me feel like I'm able to post videos every day because I just see things and I want to talk about them. And if I want to talk about them, I just make a video about them. You know what I'm saying? I think that's actually really cool. But anyways, I'm gonna get out of here and edit this video. Y'all enjoy y'all morning, afternoon, and night, wherever y'all are. I'm DomoSenpai, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.